Good evening, everybody on TigerNet. This is David Hood, senior writer for TigerNet.com. It's my distinct pleasure to be joined by Larry Gautier, who is the representative for the Orange Bowl that has made his way up to Clemson to lay the groundwork for not only the Clemson football team, but for Clemson Nation to make their way down to South Florida. You all know Clemson is going to play in the Discover Orange Bowl on January the 4th. It's Clemson's first ever BCS Bowl. And, of course, for all of us history buffs and people who love Clemson, it's our first trip to the Orange Bowl since the 1982 Orange Bowl game. The 1981 Clemson team went 12-0, beat Nebraska 22-15 in that game, won our only national championship. So, Mr. Gautier, thank you for your time. But just talk about the Orange Bowl, inviting Clemson and West Virginia, and what it means to the Bowl to have these two programs.
Well, we're so excited to have Clemson and West Virginia down in our game. It's a wow game. It's an exciting game. We're all extremely pumped to have you all down there. We think Sun Life Stadium is going to be rocking on January the 4th. But we're so pleased to have Clemson come down again as the ACC champion to participate in our game. Our game has been 30 years. It's been 30 long years. We wish we could have gotten it back sooner, but quite frankly, we're glad you're back now for the 30th anniversary. It's very ironic that we just decided a month ago to induct Coach Danny Fork into the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame. How ironic that was in the karma. And now the Clemson, the ACC champs, in coming back on our 30th anniversary. We're so excited about having Clemson back and coming back down to South Florida.
One thing we know, the Clemson fans are absolutely going to travel well. They're going to travel to this bowl game. But one of the questions we get, when should I go down? How soon should I book my travel? What is there to do? Should I go down before New Year's, after New Year's Eve? I tell them, you can't miss New Year's in South Beach. But talk a little bit about how do they get all of this information? How do they book their travel? Where do they stay? What is there to do?
The BCS Bowl game is like a Super Bowl experience from a wow perspective, from a hospitality perspective, from a fun perspective. So to answer your question, I would spend as much time in South Florida as I possibly could. Some people, once the Christmas dinner is over, you may want to get in the car or get in the plane and come on down then. But our events start on December the 30th when we shut down the world-famous Ocean Drive. We turn into Orange Drive. Basically, I think it's a 10-block stretch on South Beach from 15th to 5th Street. We have world-class entertainment. We have world-class food and drinks. And I think it's a wonderful place for the Clemson Nation to gather in solid orange format and take over South Florida. So that's from December 30th to January 1st. Also on New Year's Eve, we have a wow experience on South Beach as part of that. For those folks who want to go up to Fort Lauderdale, we have a New Year's Eve celebration on the Riverwalk in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We drop the ball. About 30,000 people come out to that. It's a real neat experience as well on the 31st of December. On January the 3rd, we have two events. We have the Gridiron Bash, which is the fan pep rally, again, back on South Beach on the afternoon of January the 3rd. We've had 30,000 people on the beach. You talk about from both schools. It's a real fun thing for both schools to kind of show their school colors and their pride. At lunchtime on January the 3rd, I mentioned Coach Danny Ford, his induction Hall of Fame. We have the Coaches Luncheon. Coach Dabo Sweeney will be there. A lot of the players will be there. We will induct Coach Ford into the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame at that time. So that is at Jungle Island at noon on January the 3rd. On game day, January the 4th, the gates open at 11:30. We have the fan zone, which again will have world-class entertainment. We'll have food and drinks starting at 11:30, so the Clemson Nation can tailgate for a long period of time, up to because I know you like to do that, up to game time at 8 o'clock. Obviously, we have 8 o'clock kick, Clemson versus West Virginia, which is going to be a real shootout. It'll be a lot of fun. But during halftime, we have a halftime show. We have world-class entertainment. As you all know, we will not disappoint you this year. We have Train as the entertainment, which will be a real wow event. So that's a real neat experience. And last but not least, so that the Clemson Nation can remember their experience. And the experience is their first BCS bowl game. I think it's a real momentous occasion for the Clemson Nation. Yes, you won a national championship in 1982, but this is the first BCS bowl game that the Clemson faithful have experienced. Obviously, it's a given that the Clemson Tigers will walk away with a W, and to help commemorate this momentous occasion, we want to basically help the Clemson faithful to basically walk away with a souvenir. The patch The Orange Bowl, Discover Orange Bowl patch will be worn on the jerseys of the Clemson Tigers. The Clemson folks can buy these patches at the Tiger Club at Knickerbockers here in Clemson for $10. If they show it at the Fan Zone on game day, they get a $5 discount on this. And obviously, after the game is over, they have a souvenir memento to mark this historic occasion of the first BCS Bowl game. And last but not least is obviously we talk about the Karma. David, we talked about Karma earlier, the 30th anniversary of Clemson. We talked about Coach Danny Ford being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Another piece of Karma is, I don't know if people realize, but we're hosting the national championship game next year in Sun Life Stadium. We talked about, obviously, the progression, the growth of this Clemson Tiger team, where they were last year, how they grew as a unit this year, the chemistry between Coach Sweeney and his staff and the players. A wonderful season, both on the field and off the field with the Clemson Tigers. What a wonderful dry run, if you will, to get your first BCS Bowl game, to understand South Florida, and obviously for next year, obviously the Clemson faithful, when you do come back for the national championship game, you'll know basically where to stay, what to do. To help you with that, we're all about hospitality. The Orange Bowl is about that. We take that extremely seriously. We try to answer all the questions that we possibly can. orangebowl.org, www.orangebowl.org is the website that we've created that has all of the answers to what you want to do, where you want to stay. We've gotten a lot of questions about where to stay when we're down there. We've broken it down by geography. A lot of people want to stay on the beach. Some want to stay in downtown Miami, other geographic areas. We've broken down the hotels by that way. We've also broken it down by price points, by South Beach or wherever. We've taken all things in consideration because the Clemson Nation includes your students, which basically it's how many bodies can I get into a hotel room. So we've taken that in consideration. Family of four, where do I stay? And also your alumni that may have spent time down there back in 1982, and they will have special considerations as well. So orangebowl.org has all of that travel information on there. We've also broken down all of the to-dos that then go to the Seaquarium, the Everglades, the Keys, that kind of key information. Kind of using get there early, experience everything on Ocean Drive, enjoy the entire week, but also use it as a base of operation if they want to do side trips or whatever. So Miami has changed a lot. It's an international city, which is really a neat place. You talk about fine food, fine entertainment. We've done it all extremely well, and I think the Clemson Nation will have a wonderful, wonderful time down there. I also have heard that Clemson likes to make their mark wherever they go. They like to just let people know that the Clemson faithful have been there and that there's a lasting impression. So we're hoping that when you all come down, we want to make that mark on South Florida. So I know Clemson likes to spend their $2 bills with the Clemson Tiger Paws or whatever. Obviously, come down there early, stay late. And make your mark on South Florida, Clemson, because you haven't been there in 30 years. The Clemson Nation has something extremely special to share. Show the nation what you're all about. Get down to South Florida and spend some time with us. And we're so looking forward to having you down here.
Very good. Once again, that's www.orangebowl.org. They can find all the information on travel and hotels there. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
David, thanks so much for having me. Go Tigers.